Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and today we're going to be going over the all-new 2020 Ford Escape. This one is in the titanium package. So, as always, we're going to do a quick walk around on the Escape, then we're going to take it out to see how it drives. A big shout out and thank you to Larry H. Miller Ford Lincoln here in Provo, Utah, for providing us with the Escape. Check out their inventory in the link below, and if you have any questions on this Escape or any of their inventory, just ask for John Jenks. So there's quite a few engine options you can get in the new Escape. This particular one has the 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder. Fuel economy on is 23 around town, 31 on the highway. The first engine is a 1.5-liter EcoBoost. That one has 180 horsepower and 177 pound-feet of torque. Then this 2-liter turbocharged engine that this one has puts out 250 horsepower and 275 pound-feet of torque. And then you have a couple 2.5 liters. One of them has a hybrid system. And in terms of those, the first one has 198 horsepower, and then the second one has 209 horsepower, and torque figures have not been released. Let's start things up on the front by going over the paint. This is called Star White Metallic. It has a really nice sparkle. That's why I put it here in the sun so you guys can kind of see how that looks. Obviously the Ford logo right there. The next part I really like is the hood here. So I love these two lines. It just kind of makes the Escape look a whole lot sportier. And then down here below, we can see that we've got the full LED lights. There is a little LED accent that kind of comes right there. Looks really cool when it is turned on. And then you got your fog lights down below, parking sensors right there. And then I'm glad they didn't go for a whole lot of chrome accenting. They did the grille all in black. I think it's a really clean, nice look. Around the side here, we've got 225mm tires on 19-inch rims, same as the back. You can see this little plastic strip down below that kind of goes all the way around. Nice black accenting to kind of contrast all of the white that this car has. But back to the rims, I like the design of them. I like how they kind of put these little gaps here that obviously there's nothing there, but then just how it looks stylistically, it almost makes it have like kind of like a blacked out look that contrasts all of the silver on the rims. Here's the key fob for the new Escape. So it's Ford's upgraded key fob. Get a couple functions. You got your lock and unlock, remote start, and then your tailgate release. So if we press the lock button and then we press the remote start button twice, it'll start right up. Very quiet, but you can hear the 2-liter turbo. And if we press that again, it'll shut it off. And then if we press this button, that's actually what will open up the rear hatch. Let's go over storage quickly. So you can pick this up. You can see that's where the spare tire is. And obviously you could store things down there if you wanted. There's a little 12-volt back here. And then these seats do fold down if you would want to for extra storage space. In terms of the cargo space back here, it's pretty normal for the segment. It is a little bit on the big side for the segment in general is what I would say. Now I gotta close this up so we can go over styling in the rear, which I think this is the strongest part on this new Escape. I love the rear angle on it, especially those wraparound LED lights. I think those look really, really nice, but just this angle, especially, I can already tell the camera's not doing it justice. It looks so much better in person. It kind of has this like wide, muscular stance. But we got the little spoiler up top here with your third brake light, full LED lights like I just said. It says Escape on the back there. You got titanium EcoBoost since this is turbocharged, and then this one actually has a receiver hitch from the factory, more parking sensors, and then this dual outlet exhaust in the back. Now coming to the rear here, I really like this design on the door panel. Yes, it is hard touch plastic, but I just like the design on it. You have some nice leather bolstering where you're actually going to put your arm. And then you've got one of the window controls, speaker for the sound system, and then here is the seat here in the rear. So it's got this nice leather here, little perforations in it. Like I said, this is the titanium package, so that's why it's gonna have the upgraded leather. And then you've got your little cup holder that you can pull out, and they just did traditional cup holders, no button or anything you have to click to get them to pop out. You can see the vents back here for the rear passengers. They do get a little charging station back here on top of that. And then you can see there's another speaker for the sound system on the door and full panoramic sunroof, but we'll get into that more in a little bit. We've got keyless entry here in the front, so one touch to lock it, and then to unlock it, all you have to do is just put your hand on the back of the door handle. It does have that little keypad that all of the Fords have so that you can put your keys in the car and then obviously use that to unlock it. And then also before we fully open it, blind spot monitoring there in the mirror. But now opening up, you can see the door panel here looks pretty much identical to the one in the rear. However, you do get wood trim up here, that same design here on the side of the door, leather padding right here, window controls, memory seat controls with your lock and unlock, and then another speaker for the sound system. Here are the seats in the front of the Escape. You can see full leather seats. They got this nice contrasted stitching, really nice size. They're actually really comfortable to sit in. And then we can come down here, got the pedal layout just down below right there. It has that upgraded hood, so you pull that twice to unlatch the hood, just like in the Lincolns and the new Explorer. And then up here you can see we've got our controls here for the tailgate light controls as well. And then the steering wheel, you'll note, is manually adjustable. Start up the Escape, all you have to do is put your foot on the brake, and this is where the coolest party trick begins. Just wait for it. Boom. Yeah, John showed me that in a little video he sent me. I think that is so cool that that just pops up when you turn it on. We've got all of our controls here on the steering wheel. Obviously the Ford logo is in the center, and if you tap on it, that'll do the horn. This is for that little center screen to kind of scroll through some things. We'll go over that in a minute. And then you've got your phone controls right over here. On the other side, you've got some safety tech and the cruise control. So you've got like your little lane departure assistance right here that'll help you kind of stay straight in the middle of the lane. Cruise control as well, and it does have adaptive cruise control. That's for the follow function. And then these are the volume controls for the radio. Paddle shifter is mounted on the back of the steering wheel, so you can shift the gears yourself. And then you've got some nice stitching in the little steering wheel. By the way, the steering wheel is heated. And then you've got your little stalk here for the turn signal. Also, if you want to flash the brights at someone. And then you've got your windshield wiper stalk on the other side. Here's the gauge cluster in the new Escape. You can see that we've got the normal menus that you can scroll through right here to give you different bits of information on the vehicle, just like any other new car. The biggest thing I like about this new little infotainment system is just how it looks overall aesthetically, especially how the little speed gauge looks right there. It's a really nice clean look. And then the RPMs, I'm just gonna give it a couple revs so you can kind of see how that raises. I think it's a really cool look. Looks really sporty actually, and so Ford has done a fantastic job with these updated gauges. Now here's our infotainment system right here, and you can see I've got it on the navigation screen right there. And I'm just gonna press a couple of the functions so you guys can kind of see response time for yourselves. It seems like it's pretty responsive in general, really good unit. And let's actually go into reverse. You can also see the camera system that comes with this. And you can see right there that zooms in onto the receiver hitch. So this one does come with that tow package like I just showed you, and that'll help hooking up. You can see those parking sensors in the front and the rear. It kind of shows you that. So that's pretty solid overall. And then you can see all these different settings you can do. Valet mode, which I don't think anyone's going to rally and Escape, so probably never have to use that. But yeah, I mean, overall it's pretty good, and like I said, you can see the touch response is pretty decent on most of the functions. We have our analog radio controls right here. We've got our hazard lights in the middle right there, a couple of vents that just flank it, and then we can see we've got our analog controls for the climate. See, you've got your heated seats, heated steering wheel as well, so pretty standard setup right there. A couple charging stations here. Got our cup holders, got the keys in here obviously for both the vehicles I'm reviewing today. This is the shifter for the 8-speed automatic transmission. You do have a manual shift mode if you want to shift the gears yourself, and you can use the paddles to do that. This is your parking brake. That's your auto hold if you're on a hill, so it just holds it for you, which I think is a really neat feature, so you don't have to hold your foot on the brake. And then we do have our drive modes right here, which again, we'll go over those in a minute. Those will pop up in that center screen, but we'll go over those in a moment. Auto stop start. That is for your parking sensors, and that is your parallel and perpendicular parking assistance. Center console, it's got nice stitching on it. We can open this up. You can see there's a USB in there. And then finally on storage, we can pop open the glove box and see there's a decent amount of storage space in there. But now let's go back and get into the drive modes. So this obviously is the button for the drive mode select. And if we press that, you can see that you can scroll through the modes, and looks super similar to what the new Lincolns have. And notice when I go into the different modes, how it changes the gauge cluster setup, how it looks and everything. So like I'm in sport mode now, it makes it super red and aggressive. And then, you know, I can go into slippery mode. And I think it's really cool that they have those nice graphics that it does on all of them. It does take a second for the gauges, obviously, to pop up. But other than that, I really like how it gives you the little pictures and just how it actually changes the overall look with the gauges. Now I've got a little sunglass holder here up top. Got our controls for the full panoramic sunroof. Lets a ton of light into the cabin. Universal garage door openers. Other than that, you can see everything up top is pretty normal for most modern vehicles. Now I actually like the accenting on most of the Escape. I like this wood packaging right here, and I like how they have these lines that kind of just go right across all of the interior. It's a very nice look. But let's talk about pricing. So this particular Escape titanium with the 2-liter turbocharged engine stickers for about $40,000 before any type of market adjustment, which in my opinion, with all of the packaging that this has, is actually a pretty good value. You guys remember that I reviewed the Lincoln Corsair earlier this month, and that one was closer to $50,000 with pretty similar equipment. Obviously it's a Lincoln, so the interior is going to be a little bit more upscale, and Yes, I will get a comparison video going as soon as I can. They sold that Corsair that I did a review on. Surprise. It's a hot vehicle. But anyways, let's take this Escape out to see how it drives. Talk about visibility before we set off in the Escapes. You can see visibility over the hood is pretty decent, and then you can see visibility over both of the mirrors. And by the way, I like the little kind of bulge right there on the side of the hood. It's a good little aesthetic. And then you see visibility throughout the rear is decent. I wish that window was a little bit larger. I'm glad that they included it. Obviously design dictates that it's going to kind of have to be a triangle because it swoops down in the rear, but yeah, that would be my only thing on a visibility standpoint. But auto stop start, and let's set off. So now we are setting off here in the 2020 Escape, and I am going to make a lot of comparisons to the Corsair, and that's because they're built off of the same platform. And then yes, I will do the full comparison video, but that's kind of what I'm going to make a lot of in this video because they're so related to each other. In terms of road noise and ride quality, it's actually really smooth ride quality wise, and road noise, you get a little bit coming through from the tires, but it's not a whole lot. It's pretty well insulated. The Corsair, I think, is a little bit more insulated than this just overall, but ride quality wise, they're pretty much identical. With steering, it is very, very direct, actually. I mean, it just goes right where I put it, which is really, really nice. We're gonna get a little acceleration here with the Escape in sport mode. Yeah, it's actually really, really quick. I mean, it just gets up and goes once you put a little bit of throttle in it, once it's in the sport mode. And I love how the gauges look. So right here, as we're making another turn, I want to talk about steering feel again. I mean, it's very light and effortless, but it's super direct. I mean, this SUV feels like super zippy and like right where you'd want to put it. I really like that characteristic on it, and I just wish more SUVs kind of drove like that, where they're just kind of they kind of dart around right where you want it to go. Now let's sum things up on this new 2020 Ford Escape. If you're looking for, you know, obviously a brand new SUV with quite a bit of power, a ton of safety tech as well, something that's really comfortable to drive, but you want something that's also sporty to drive as well, then the Escape is definitely a great option to go for if you don't need a massive SUV with a ton of space, and something that also gets good fuel economy. I mean, this checks a lot of boxes for a lot of people, and I really like this new revised Escape. I feel like it's a really good value, and you know, I need to do a side-by-side comparison, but so far I actually like this a little bit more than the Corsair. And there we have it, everyone, the 2020 Ford Escape Titanium. Absolutely amazing vehicle. I really enjoyed this one a lot, and like I said, as soon as I can get a comparison done with this and the Corsair, I will. But anyways, as always, if you're stopping for the first time, please subscribe, comment down below what you thought, and then again, a big shout out and thank you to Larry H. Miller, Ford Lincoln here in Provo, Utah, for providing us with this Escape. Check out their inventory in the link below.